What a time, what a time, what a great time to be a Star Wars fan. From the news of episode 10 to the list of new movies coming in the next decade to the amazing Ahsoka series teaser we got a few days ago. Star Wars has been killing it lately so far, and it's been long overdue. As you can probably guess from my voice, I'm super excited for all of this. So much so that I began to rewatch the series Star Wars Rebels, and this show has reminded me how much I love the Star Wars universe. So I thought to myself, why not talk about it? So welcome back to the Fictional Matrix, where we talk everything fiction. If you are new to this channel and love geeking out and talking about sci-fi, superheroes, movies and manga, go ahead and subscribe. Now, on to the video. This is my Star Wars love letter. The reason I'm able to rewatch Rebels for like the third time. From its incredible visuals in the big screen, as well as in the diverse shows on Disney Plus platform, to its vast lore that expands over various time periods in the sci-fi fantasy verse, to its incredible characters, complicated side plots, and social political struggles. Star Wars is an amazing journey which tends to get better the more you learn about it. Aside from the sequels were trash. 7 is okay, but 8 and 9 were those abominations. Anyways, back to what I love. Star Wars is one of those stories that keeps getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, with new ideas, characters, side plots being introduced each year. Something that if done so casually could very likely ruin a franchise. Star Wars, on the other hand, has managed to make it work, thanks to it being based on a universe with over 25,000 years of history, which of those 25,000 years we have barely even scratched the surface of. Think about it, we have 11 movies and around 8 different shows that are centered within what is known as the Skywalker Saga. Think about it, 11 movies and 8 plus shows in a period of what, 80 plus years? You can see what I mean. And even within those 80 plus years, there are gaps in history, which is why we've gotten stellar shows such as my definitely favorite The Mandalorian, The Clone Wars, and Rebels. The potential for storytelling is immense, and Disney knows this. Star Wars simply has some of the most iconic, lovable, and badass characters in fictional history, such as Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Grogu, Mando, Boba Fett, Princess Leia, and one of the most well-known and simp for villains of all time, Darth freaking the Goat Vader, as well as many more that I would not be mentioning right now. But within those many more, I would like to address my personal favorites, which are as follows: Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Din Djarin, Boba Fett. I actually love both Vader and Anakin. I also love Obi-Wan Kenobi, Bane, the Bounty Hunter, Darth Malgus. And yes, I know Malgus isn't canon, but we are not going to sit here like this man isn't Black Air Force incarnate. Like if he didn't create his own Sith army and storm and destroyed the Jedi Temple. The moment he saw his master hurt, he was like, nah, I'm the captain now, bro. Like, no, I don't care if he's not canon. He is badass. Talking about badass non-canon characters, I cannot skip one of my, and probably half of the fandom's favorite, in Starkiller. Because when that man said those words, like, Vader can't stop me now, and went head to head with both Vader and Palpatine, sheesh, I can't lie, Force Unleashed was a great game. And so were many of the Star Wars games, which, like the shows and movies, did not waste any time and expanded the lore of the universe. Though many are now on the side of legends and not canon, which is a real shame, there is one game in particular that has grown to become my all-time favorite Star Wars game, and that is Fallen Order. Fallen Order was just a crazy experience in the form of a game. Cal Kestis is definitely one of the best things Star Wars has done lately, and I honestly can't wait for Jedi Survivor. Or when he, Ezra, and Luke finally meet each other. Please, Dave Filoni, please make this happen. It all started October 3, 2008. It was with the arrival of the Clone Wars that I truly began to get immersed into the world of the galaxy far, far away. I remember having watched The Phantom Menace on TV and thought about it being a really cool movie, but that was about it at the time. But it wasn't up until the Clone Wars that I actually started to understand and fall in love with the characters, plots, and worlds within the sci-fi fantasy. It was the cool powers, the advanced technology, the alien species, the incredible fights and battles. I was quickly hooked. But even so, it would take me a few more years to truly appreciate and understand the entire scope of the Star Wars universe created by George Lucas. And now continued by the two GOATs, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Jump to 2019, when we got the first trailer of Season 7 of the Clone Wars. I was like, finally! This is where I truly sat down and began to watch the series that I had loved but never finished as a kid. Now, as an adult, I could focus and see many details I probably missed as a kid, and so I did. I sat down and began to immerse myself in it, and boy did I fall in love with it. From the complexity of Anakin's character having more time to be fleshed out, to the other incredible side plots such as the problem with the clones were facing, masterfully showing how they weren't mere disposable pawns, but each was a character in their own right, to their introduction of probably my second favorite Star Wars character of all time in Ahsoka Tano, aka Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. This series had it all. Great villains such as the graceful Count Dooku, the brutal Darth Maul, the incredibly cunning Vane, the resourceful Ventress, and the man responsible for the extermination of the Jedi, the fall of the Republic, and the rise of the Empire, the greatest mastermind in all of Star Wars, the Emperor, aka Darth Sidious. Aside from these iconic villains, we also got to see some of the most beloved Jedi Masters, such as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace freaking Windu, Anakin Skywalker, Plo Koon, and Grandmaster Yoda. We also got to see badass characters like the Mandalorians, who funny enough, around this time, the second season of a certain show by the same name was announced, which got me very intrigued, which to be honest was kind of funny because of how ignorant I was back then. Because I was like, I'm not watching a show of a no-name bounty hunter from a wannabe Star Wars era I don't know. Oh boy, was I wrong. The Mandalorian is simply goated. Mandalorian is my second love, and the show that got me my personal favorite character in all of Star Wars. Grogu. No, joking. It's Din Djarin, aka Mando. From the introduction of a new world, a post-Empire Star Wars, decades before the tragic sequels, with fascinating new and unique characters such as Din Djarin, Grogu, Cara Dune, the Marshal, the Forge Master, to the coming back of fan favorites like Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and Luke freaking Skywalker. The Mandalorian was on fire, and hopefully season 3 and forward will end up just as good as the previous seasons did, cause the first seasons of Mandalorian hooked me like never before. I went on to watch every Star Wars content I could get my hands on, including watching all the movies again, which of those Rogue One is still my favorite Star Wars movie. I don't care, call it what it is. The Star Wars version of the Suicide Squad, but it was badass. You can't deny it. I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me. Afterwards, I got to watch what has become my second favorite Star Wars content, Star Wars Rebels. Rebels is simply a masterpiece, which shows us how the rebellion came to be from the perspective of probably one of my favorite groups in Star Wars, the Ghost Crew, aka Phoenix Squad, consisting of new characters such as Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, Sabine Wren, Hera, Seb, Chopper, and returning favorites of mine such as Ahsoka, Rex, Bo-Katan, Maul. Heck, we even had Obi-Wan for an entire episode. And boy was that episode great when he faces down Maul for the final time and delivers the answer he and Ezra were looking for so long. Simply masterful. So yeah, I'm sure I have established and shown everyone who made it this far on the video, my love for Star Wars runs deep. And I haven't talked much about the games because I'm waiting for Jedi Survivor to drop so I can make a separate video about it. But for now, thank you for joining with me as I geek out through this galaxy far, far away. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you want me to talk more Star Wars content or if you want me to review any of the shows, movies and games about it. Also stay tuned for next week where I will be having the discussion of the century to put an end to who is the greatest basketball team assembled in NBA history. Now have a great day and see you on the next video on the Fictional Matrix.